Hey guys, what's up? I am Nikhil from Dope Motions, and in today's After Effects tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to create a very clean, elegant, yet a colorful looking logo reveal animation inside of After Effects without using any third-party plugin. You can use this animation in various different scenarios for creating a company logo animation, or maybe as an intro for your YouTube channel, or whatever that you want to. We will be using a bunch of different effects to achieve the final result, so make sure to stick around till the end so you don't miss out on anything. So that said, let's jump straight into After Effects and get started. Alright, so here we are in After Effects. Let's start by creating a new composition. Let's set the width to 2560 by 1440. That is 2K. You can of course go with full HD or 4K if you want to. I'll call this render as our main render comp. Set a duration to around 10 seconds and press OK. Let's create another new composition. This is going to be our logo placeholder. So let's call this logo and press OK. Then here I have a logo. You can of course use any logo that you want. I'm going to keep it somewhere around there. Now let's create another new composition. This is going to be our HDRI comp, which we will be using to create those nice glossy reflections. So let's call this HDRI and press OK. Here I have an HDRI map that I will use. You can download all these assets using the free project file. Link is in the video description below. So here we have our image. Let's select it, go into effects and presets and search for an effect called motion tile. Double click to apply that. Let's increase the output width like so and output height as well. Then I'm going to turn on mirrored edges and I think I'll increase the scale a little bit. So let's go with somewhere around 115. Okay. And then we can animate the tile center. So I'll select the motion tile. Here we have the handle. I'll drag it and let's create a keyframe at the very start. Go all the way up to 10 seconds and I'll drag this out like so. So now we have a very simple movement and we will be using this as our reflection map. I think I'll scale this to around 125. That would be much better. Yep. Now let's go back into our main project panel and create a new composition called this gloss or glossy. Press OK. Let's drag the HDRI composition and on top of that I'll add the logo composition. Change the track matte of the HDRI to logo, to alpha matte basically, and let's zoom in into our timeline and animate the opacity of the HDRI layer. So press T to bring down the opacity. I'll go to around 1 second and 15 frames, create a keyframe on the opacity. I'll set this to 50. Go back at around 15 frames and set this to 0. We can select the keyframes and press F9 to ease them, and here we have a very simple reveal. Then go into effects and presets and search for an effect called CC glass, a very interesting effect. Apply this, go into surface and I'll set this to logo. So it's going to take the bump map from our logo layer. I'll increase the softness to around 35 and also increase the height to around 95. Set the displacement to -500. And as you can see, we get this really nice look. Let's go into light settings and increase the light intensity to 150 and the light height to around 95. Then again go into effects and presets and search for an effect called CC Blobilize. Double click to apply that. Go into the blobbiness and I'll select the logo layer again. Let's make some room right here. Bring down the softness to somewhere around 0.5 and bring down the cutaway to 0. Then go into the light and let's bring down the light intensity to 45 and I'll bring down the light height to around 5. Let's go into the shading, set the ambient to around 120, bring up the diffuse to around 90 and bring down the specular to let's say somewhere around 80 and rest everything looks fine. Then I'll go into effects and presets, search for an effect called sharpen, apply that. And I'm going to increase the intensity of the sharpen amount really high, somewhere around 1000. Now the reason we are using sharpen is to add a nice texture onto the glossiness, because without this it looks very digital. So this will help us to add some nice texture. Now to compensate for this anti-aliasing kind of an issue, we can apply a compound blur on this. So let's search for compound blur. Double click and set this very low, somewhere around 4 or something like that, and set this to logo. I think 4 is a bit too high. So maybe something like let's go with 3 should be fine. And now you can see we have this really nice texture onto our logo. So this is without sharpen and this is with sharpen. So it looks much more realistic. It has those nice scratches as well. You can play around with the sharpen, you know, you can keep it the way you like. So you can keep it somewhere around, maybe I think 1000 was way too much. Let's go with 500. 500 is fine. Or let's go with something like 650. Yep, that looks much better, I think. So our glossy logo is ready. Now let's duplicate this logo layer. Press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Turn this on and place it below. So now we have this really nice glossiness added onto our logo. Looking pretty good. Also, one more thing that we need to do is change the blend mode of the HDRI layer to soft light. So that would make the complete glossiness look like more reflective surface for our logo. You can increase the opacity. I think I'll set this to around 60% instead of 50. I want it to look much more glossy. So there we have it, looking pretty nice. Now let's head on to the next part. So let's create a new composition again, call this logo edit. You can call it whatever that you like. I'm gonna call it logo edit. Let's add the logo composition, and on top of this I'll add a fill effect. Add a fill color. I'm gonna keep it something like a nice gray, and then on top of this I'll add an image wipe, CC image wipe, and this will help us to achieve a really nice fade in effect. So I'll make some room right here. Let's go to around 2 seconds and create a keyframe on the completion. Also make sure the border softness is set to 100%. Let's create a keyframe, press U, go back and set this all the way up to 100. So now we have a very nice reveal. As you can see, looks pretty cool. We can select it and ease them. So that's looking nice. Now with this, I want to add a nice camera blur as well. So let's go into effects and presets, search for camera lens blur, double click to apply that. At 1 second, I'll set my camera lens blur radius to 0, create a keyframe, go at the very start and set this to around 150. So now we have something like this. We have this nice reveal, as you can see, looking pretty good. We can press U so we can see all the keyframes, and we can just simply ease them by pressing F9. And we will also add a very nice scale animation, a very simple scale animation basically. So I'll go to around 2 seconds, press S, create a keyframe, go back and let's set this to around 70%. So we have this nice scale animation. Then go to 3 seconds, press T to bring down the opacity, create a keyframe, go to 3 seconds and 15 frames and set this to 0. So now we can press U and select all the keyframes and press F9 to ease them. So let's see what we have. Okay, now let's go back into our main project panel, and here we have our glossy composition. Drag and drop it. Let's go to around maybe 25 frames and move this forward in time. Then go into effects and presets and add a very interesting effect called CC Mr. Mercury, a very interesting effect to play around with. And you can see we can achieve this nice liquid reveal using this particular effect. So let's play around a little bit with the settings. I'll set the radius X and Y to 15. Let's set the direction to 80, bring the velocity down to 0.8 and increase the birth rate to 1.8. Bring down the gravity to 0. We don't want any falling liquid. We want the liquid to stay there as it is. So this looks pretty nice. And bring down the extra to 0.5. Now let's animate the blob birth size and the death size. So first of all, let's start from maybe somewhere on 0.2. I'll place my time indicator at around 3 seconds and let's create a keyframe on the blob birth size and blob death size. Then go to 3 seconds and 15 frames, or let's go at around 4 seconds and set the birth size to 14 and death size to around 4. So now we have something like this. Pretty nice. So we have this nice liquid reveal, but let's also add the image wipe transition here as well. So I'll go into effects and presets, search for CC image wipe, double click to apply that. Let's go to around 2 seconds and set this all the way up to 0, create a keyframe, go at the very start and set this to 100. Again, let's press U, select all the keyframes and F9 to ease them. And now we have this really nice reveal, as you can see. Okay, so that is looking pretty nice. I can press Ctrl Y to create a new solid, called this BG for background. And let's give it a nice off-white color. And let's see how it looks. So that is looking quite nice. I think I will change the color of the logo to something like a light gray. So we have the reveal and then the color appears. Pretty good. So I can copy this background layer or just Control X to cut that background layer and paste it in the main render composition. And let's go into the main project panel, drag the logo edit composition right here. So now we have it. And on top of this, I will add the logo composition as well. Let's move this layer forward by 15 frames. And now we have to add a couple of effects on this particular layer to make the complete logo animation feel a bit more complex. So the first effect that I will use is the transition effect that we are using quite a lot in this particular tutorial, is the CC image wipe. Double click to apply that. So set the completion to 100% and create a keyframe. Hit U, go to 1 second and 15 frames and set this down to 0. Then I will add the camera lens blur. Set this to 0, create a keyframe on the blur radius, go at the very start and set this to 150. So now we have something like this. Okay. And then we will add an effect called Venetial blinds. Double click to apply that. Let's place the time indicator at around 2 seconds. Set the transition completion all the way up to 100 and the width to, let's say, somewhere around 50 should be fine. Create a keyframe on the transition completion, and on the width we can press U so we can see the keyframes. Go at around 3 seconds and set the width to somewhere like 25. Go at around 3 seconds and let's increase the width to somewhere around 65, and then go to 4 seconds and bring down the width to 0, or let's bring that down to around 10 and bring down the completion to 0. So now we have something like this. Okay, let's give it a direction of 45 degrees. So that's fine, that's looking good. Okay, and then we will add the CC Mr. Mercury again. Let's increase the radius Y and X to 15 by 15. Set the gravity to 0.1. And let's animate the blob birth size and the death size. So I'll go to around 2 seconds. Set this to 0.25. Create a keyframe on the birth size and the death size. Let's go to around 5 seconds. Set this to 14 and set this one to around 4. Then we can select the layer and press U, select all the keyframes and press F9 to ease them. So now we have something like this. Pretty cool. And finally, right at around 3 seconds, I will add the CC image wipe again. Create a keyframe on the completion, go to 4 second and 15 frames and set this to 100. And of course, easy ease. So there we go. There we have this nice reveal of glossiness that we are looking for. And finally, add around somewhere around 4 seconds, I can add a zoom out movement. So I'll press S to bring down the scale property, create a keyframe, go to around 5 or 6 seconds and bring that down like so to somewhere around 70%. Select the keyframe, press F9 to ease them, go into the graph and right click, select edit speed graph, and I'll try to create a peak in the center. So I'll select this point and let's set the influence of around 86, 85 and this one to 85, 86 as well. So now we have this really nice zoom out movement, and with that we can also add a nice text. So I'll select the text tool and you can type in anything that you want. I'm gonna type in tribute media. I'll bring down the size and also the color to something like a nice black. Okay, let's increase the text kerning. Everything is looking fine. Okay, let's select this again, press U so we can see the keyframes. Select the text, press P to bring down the position and T for opacity and create a keyframe on both of these. Go back, bring down the position and this to 0. And actually now I should select the keyframes, press F9 and create a peak so that both of these animation can be with a similar influence, something like that. So we have this really nice reveal, as you can see. And there you go. There you have your liquid style glossy logo animation in After Effects. So that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, do let me know in the comments below. And I have a complete playlist dedicated to logo reveal animations that you can binge watch right now. You can also follow me on Instagram at dope.motions and Nikhil Pawar. All the links are in the description below. With that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and always stay raw, stay creative. Peace out.